Hello and welcome to The Spirit Safe. My name's Rob. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Last time we had a Mexican whiskey. If you missed that, maybe go back and look at it. That was an unusual one. Now we are back on slightly more familiar ground with a Scotch single malt, but it's not that familiar ground because this is a distillery we've not seen before on the channel, and it's not a distillery that you could that anybody had tried any whiskey from a year or two ago. It is the Lindores Abbey commemorative first issue single malt. Lindores Abbey is a lowland distillery. They make quite a big show of the fact that at Lindores Abbey, the monks' abbey, they had that is the first place where there was written mention of a distillery in 1494, and they do have the MCDXCIV, the Roman numerals for 1494 on there. There was a scroll was discovered where the king said, give these monks some barley so that they can make some whiskey with it. And just a few years ago, a distillery was opened at Lindores Abbey, an independently owned distillery. So you have a new distillery in a place where the oldest recorded distillery was, or the oldest recorded distillation of Scotch. So it's kind of neat in that way. This is bottled at 46% ABV. I bought it in Alberta for 80 Canadian. But it's just been released in BC for 100 Canadian. Now, this is the commemorative bottle, but they actually produced some that said commemorative and released those first and charged a little bit more. And then they took the word commemorative off, still the same juice in the bottle, and charged a little bit less. So the commemorative ones, I think very few of them are actually going to get opened. Because people have bought it to say, look at this, it's commemorative, and then maybe buy a bottle of the regular. But I don't have space in my cupboard to keep a commemorative, and I'm not really one for keeping commemorative bottles knocking around. It is non-natural colour and non-chill filtered, although the bottle doesn't say that. The website does, though. And as for the bottle, it's an unusual one, sort of. I don't know how I'd describe it. It's fancy. It's almost like a big marrow or a perfume factories. I'm not sure I'm completely in love with it, but you can see the need for Lindores Abbey to sort of stand out a little bit. And the design of the label, everything is great. It didn't come with a carton or anything. The bottle maybe a little too much, but I sort of see where they're going with this. No age statement, but it was distilled in 2017, and then bottled 2021, so 4 to 5 years of age. Anything else I wanted to say? No. Let's give it a sniff. There is a very definite oakiness, more than you would expect from such a young whiskey. It does have a blend of different casks here. It does have the bourbon, sherry and wine barriques. And I'm thinking that maybe that's European oak from the wine casks, and it's maybe a little bit over-represented. But aside from that, it's spirity, light and fruity. Do pick up some tropical, once you get past the slightly overpowering oak, there is tropical fruit, green apples, kiwi, passion fruit, banana, strawberry, pineapple, tinned pineapple, peaches and cream. Also a light oak on top of the overpowering oak, salted butter, light floral notes, blossom, kind of champagne maltiness, strawberry jam, vanilla, ginger snaps, ginger bread, maybe a candied ginger as well. Lots of spices, Earl Grey tea, anise. And there have been occasions where the oak notes have bunched together in a kind of rubbery, impenetrable way, which I really didn't like. There's less of that now. But yeah, it was a little closed in the oaky sections. Palate, yes, it is oaky. So initially sweet and then surprisingly dry at the back. Dry white wine, some lemon, citrus, quinine, even a bitterness. Later, after you've had a couple of sips, get sweeter lemon curd, lemon meringue pie, dry spices, citrus peel, apple cider, sweet apple cider, gooseberry, tropical fruits and citrus. Let's give it a drop of water. A decent spoonful. Let's try to unpick a lot of that oak. Even more spirity now with a drop of water. Apples, grape must, Chinese spices, some red licorice, a little bit of strawberry. Citrus blossom, some dried fruits, some raisins maybe. Peppermint, stem ginger. Peppercorns, maybe something herbal in there. Maybe just a nice citrus. A bit of menthol. Palate much better with a bit of water. Picking up black licorice, sweet wine. A citrus note that really does, a sweet citrus that really cuts that European oak. More of the barley sugars, much sweeter. Sweet plums, honey. And the finish, slightly dry, dried spices, wintergreen, fisherman's friends, candies, a really nice quinine bitterness, bitter lemon, slightly chalky, red Thai chili, banana, oat cakes, and bitter coffee. So it's certainly got quite a wide repertoire. I do like this. I think they are worth supporting as a new distillery, bottling in a nice way at 46% and not chill filtering and using natural colour. I think it's much better with water, but remember this is young whiskey, so I'd really like to keep an eye on how Lindores Abbey does. And they are already giving some lazy lowland distilleries a very good run for their money despite being such a new distillery. European oak, I mean, perhaps don't buy this if you're quite sensitive to closed oak or, too much European oak. But otherwise, I think this is one to look for. I think it's perfectly fair at 80 Canadian, and by BC standards 100 Canadian is fine for this as well. and I will keep an eye on Lindores Abbey because I think this is pretty good stuff. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Hope to see you again soon. Until then, cheers.